1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Tweeting or something.
Oh, are we on right now?
Yes.
Hello, people. This is not the official broadcast. It's the unofficial pre-broadcast. The actual live broadcast will begin at 10:30 Eastern Time. We're live tweeting right now on Twitter. Hashtag Commercial Kings. We're going to have a special sign in a second that's going to clarify things, so I don't have to keep saying that. Mute! for it.
Oh,
You're
did
on.
you hit that?
I sure did.
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from a semi-disclosed location in New York City, this is...
Commercial King.
That's right, people. It's live on the internet. You are watching us. You are hearing us. We are gazing down at our laptops and seeing your questions related to our television show on IFC every Friday at 10 p.m. This is the encore presentation of last week's episode, showing now.
Let me tell you how this works, people. You tune in on IFC at 10 o'clock, and you watch the premiere episode every week, and then you tune in at 10:30 Eastern Time, and you watch the encore episode, the American Dream episode this week. We're watching it. It's on a television. In the background, we've got Willie from Vicious Dogs, and we've got Roger and Deepika from the Presidential Carwash, and you know what is even more exciting? We released this episode that we're watching right now. We released it on YouTube today. It is over at our YouTube channel, which is where you're at already. I don't know, it'd be kind of difficult to bring up that and this at the same time.
Wait, it's called two windows, Rhett. Have you been on the internet longer than a few months?
I don't know how to do two windows at once.
It's easier if you have a television with IFC, but if you don't, you can watch this particular episode. It's the only one that will also be on our YouTube channel for a limited time. Share it with all your friends who are like, what is this Commercial Kings thing, that you keep talking about? I want to see it for myself. I want to be convinced it's watchable.
Now,
hopefully this will convince them. Thanks for tuning in. You are loyal. You are mythical. You are your best. This is going to be fun.
It's going to be very fun. Now,
and I will say, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and start asking questions related to the show with the Presidential Carwash and Vicious Dogs, and we will make note and be answering some of those.
So ask those questions there on YouTube. You can also continue to ask questions on Twitter using hashtag Commercial Kings. I'll be over there reading some of those questions. We will respond, people.
We will be responsive. I love a car wash I love any business that goes with a theme. When I first learned about what Roger and Deepika had done with their car wash, first of all, they had only been like 6 months to a year that they had taken over this car wash in North Hollywood, and they totally revamped it. I've got much, much respect for people who can come in, take over a business, and insert a concept as great as the president's, naming the car washes after the president.
Well, he was inspired, though. Roger tells us there that he was inspired, that this was his American dream, to come to America, to open a business. He's doing a great job with it. He wanted to just celebrate America with it, so he came up with a presidential theme. And each president that is on Mount Rushmore, which is Washington, Lincoln, Jefferson, and Roosevelt, Teddy Roosevelt, because Teddy Roosevelt was the president at the time that they built Mount Rushmore. They carved it into the side of a mountain, so therefore he got grandfathered in.
Did you say Van Buren?
Van Buren is little known fact. If you look really hard at Mount Rushmore, you've got the four really large heads, and then 1/100th of the size. Right there, it's actually a mole on Lincoln's face.
Yes.
Is a Van Buren likeness.
Totally not true.
The Van Buren mole, they call it, and you have to go out to Mount Rushmore to see it.
Go to see it, people. South Dakota. North Dakota? Go to the Dakotas.
The Dakotas.
And see it.
How do I find your show on Dish? I can't seem to find the IFC channel.
Come on, people. IFC.com has a little place where you can search this stuff. Just go to IFC.com. Right there on the homepage, you can figure out where it is on your diggity dial. We asked Roger to tell us how to teach us how to wash a car to his standards in 3 minutes. It took a little bit longer, but of course, I don't think we mastered the art. But talk about detail-oriented. I mean, if you've already watched the episode last week, hopefully this is your second viewing at least. I mean, you know that there's no pun intended when you say that Roger is detail-oriented.
Yeah.
At every turn, he was, he's so committed to his business. I mean, don't hold it against the guy. Admire the guy for being so meticulous about every aspect of his business, including the commercial that we're going to make for him. So we got lots of love for Roger and Deepika. I love helping to promote businesses that are so passionate and meticulous about what they do. Of course, what we're seeing right here is that we got to come up with a big idea to meet his expectations. I knew from the moment I met him when he said that he fired the last commercial directors that we had our job cut out for us.
Now we're making the transition, go over to Vicious Dogs. Now, this guy, Willie Fidel, this is an amazing dude. This guy is so passionate about hot dogs. The very first thing that we noticed is that this guy was so excited for us to be there, just to be making a commercial for him, and he was very excited.
Well, I think he was
about hot dogs.
I got the impression that he's always that way. It had nothing to do with us, and it had everything to do with his hot dogs and his just default disposition.
X Hansen says, Rhett, do you have something in your beard?
Let me see.
Hair. I have hair in my beard.
I don't see anything in your beard. Don't worry about it. He's just trying to mess with you. Hair. Either that or you've got something in your beard and I just don't see it. Are you a big fan of hot dogs?
I really do like hot dogs. I was very hungry. I intentionally did not eat very much that day that we were going out there to Vicious Dogs because I knew that we were probably going to be tasting a lot of hot dogs because that's what we do. We like to experience the business firsthand. Now, you're not too much of a hot dog fan. I know that for a fact.
No, I'm not. So for me to love Willie's dogs, which I did, speaks volumes. I will say that my wife, my significant other, she doesn't, as a policy, she just doesn't eat hot dogs. They're just not her thing. But I'm taking her to Vicious Dogs, and all that's going to change. I was really encouraged by the comments that we were getting back from you guys about the commercial, which of course is revealed at the end here. That's just like, well, I guess because of the whole episode, that everybody in the area is talking about going to Vicious Dogs. Yeah, I mean, there's people who are taking the road trip to come to VidCon, the YouTube conference that's held in LA in a couple of weeks. We will be appearing there at VidCon 2011. People saying that they're also going to go over to Vicious Dogs and the Presidential Car Wash when they come into town. Get your rental car washed, even though you don't have to, and then get yourself a Vicious Dog.
Don't get chili on your newly washed car, though, or mustard, because it will take the paint off.
You don't mix up.
I've done that before. Now, we
put chili on a car?
Yeah, we have not told the good people who have tuned in to watch Commercial Kings Live where we're at. This looks a little bit like where we were the previous 2 weeks.
I said it would be a semi-disclosed location.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are in New York City. We are actually in the IFC offices this week. We did a little press today. I don't know if you listen to Sirius Radio or you watch Fox News or other channels that we were on today. We did the Fox and Friends thing this morning. We did a couple of radio shows. We did some AP News stuff today, getting the word out about Commercial Kings, and now we're wrapping up our trip with you right here live from New York. But it's not Saturday Night Live, it's Commercial Kings Live.
Yeah, so we're flying back home in the morning. Time is on our side. We're going to gain 3 hours.
I didn't tell you, I'm going by train. I'm going home by train.
That's fine, as long as I'm the one going by the faster method of travel.
I want to see America.
I can care less how you get there.
I want to see America from a train. I've always wanted to do that.
From a boxcar, from the sliding door of a boxcar,
Yeah.
You're doing the hobo thing?
RhettandLink, how long are you going to do your shows? Samantha Gax22 says. Well,
there's many answers to that question.
I don't know what you mean by that, but what I'm guessing you're saying is how long you're going to be doing this live show. We're going to do this every week for the next 7 weeks because this is the 3rd episode of 10 of Commercial King. So, and then somebody asked a second ago, are you guys going to be doing more stuff like T-shirt war and other YouTube videos? And yes, this is something that, listen, we would really appreciate it if you would help just to dispel the rumors that we're leaving YouTube. First of all, we're on YouTube right now, so we're not leaving YouTube. Second of all, we are continuing to work up videos just like the ones that you've always loved, music videos, sketches, that kind of thing. It's just there's 2 of us.
So you're asking them to dispel that rumor, but I'm asking them to perpetuate the rumor that Martin Van Buren is the mole on which president?
Lincoln's face.
On Lincoln's face on Mount Rushmore. Perpetuate that rumor. Use hashtag Commercial Kings, because that was one of the questions here. Light Evian asks, what's the Twitter tag? It is hashtag Commercial Kings on Twitter. Perpetuate the rumor, people. I think last week I talked about my fall in one of the bumpers. You'll see it in most every episode when I almost break my elbow coming back from a commercial or going into a commercial. We actually shot that right behind Vicious Dogs. So if you visit Vicious Dogs, you can go around back to the alley and you might be able to find a blood stain, but you will definitely be able to find like a big buckle in the concrete where that was just my elbow's utter demise. It only hurts now. I mean, literally, it's been 6 weeks. You can
fully extend now?
It hurts if I like really try to do like a curl. If I like tried to curl something, which luckily I never try to curl things. You know, it just goes against my life strategy.
All right, we're back, and you can see right now, yes, I came up with this. I know I'm a self-proclaimed genius, and self-confirmed genius.
If someone's going to proclaim it, it's probably going to have to be
I will
you.
proclaim it and confirm it. I am a genius, and I came up with the idea for the triple-barrel dog, the Bermuda Triangle. And that guy right there, a lot of people ask us questions about, like, because so much reality TV is so set up, they're like, oh, where'd you get that guy? Is he an actor? That dude that came in there and ate the Bermuda Triangle, he was just coming into Vicious Dogs. We didn't shut down Vicious Dogs to shoot there. We just kept going, and he was a customer. He came in there, he tried it, and he liked it, people. Bermuda Triangle. Ask Willie for it when you go to Vicious Dogs.
So at this point, you know, we are breaking the news to Willie that we need him to cry in his commercial. I love his reaction. You know, he just thinks about it. I think it's coming up here in a second.
Well, this is really the key to our show, is that we are asking people to do things that they might not necessarily be 100% comfortable with the very first time we ask them, because we're pushing them to a place where we can make a commercial for them that will serve their needs, will get their people's attention, and be memorable.
You think that's the key to the show?
Well, it is a part of the show.
I was thinking the key to the show was me.
I think that you are at least 29% of the key to the success of the show.
Thanks for that.
At least 29%.
That's over half, so I'll take that.
Yep.
I think another key to the show is the fact that you really see our thought process. That we're the whole time we're doing the market research and we're interacting with the business owners and eating hot dogs or washing cars. The wheels are turning. We're trying to figure out what that hook is. So, you know, when we meet a guy like Willie who's so passionate about hot dogs, it's like, okay, what's the best way for us to platform that in a commercial so that you can't forget it? You know, is that to have him really happy and like euphoric? I mean, he's kind of already there. So, as you can see, we decided to go in the total opposite direction.
But this is one of the highlights of the show here, where we are pitching Roger and Deepika our idea for rapping presidents, and Roger is saying, why can't you get some actors for this? You know, why do I have to be the one to do it? And we're explaining to him that it is important that people see the business owner, the proprietor, actually do this. It's better than an actor. He can do a much better job than an actor.
Especially when he didn't aspire to be the star of his own commercial. To me, I think it comes through and it makes it even better when you watch his performance in the commercial, that it's like, well, I wouldn't say that he was reluctant, but I would say that he was just being himself. He wasn't being a ham. You know, I think the way that Roger and Deepika delivered their rap lines, it was perfect because it was just unadulterated Roger and Deepika. You know, it wasn't putting on airs of any sort. Well, we did get some comments when we released the commercial on YouTube. It's like, they should have been more high energy. It's like, no, you're wrong. They should have been who they were, and that's what
you're missing the point, people. Sorry.
I would say this is one of my favorite scenes, maybe of the whole series right here, where we're at the recording session with Roger, when he started laughing uncontrollably out of discomfort and I guess just disbelief that this was happening.
But see, now he's on board and he's talking about riding dirty and dropping on in and hollering back.
See him laughing like, I mean, we really had a good time, you know. dressing up in the president's costume. You know, it's just fun. I'm glad it's in the format of a television show, just if for no other reason, so I can watch it back and experience what happened.
I'm having a difficult time getting the chat to stop. I thought it was when you go over it stops. Is that wrong, or is that right or wrong? Because somebody was just asking, I would like to recognize your name, but I'm having computer issues today because I'm on the East Coast. I'm back on the East Coast, and my computer has just finally adjusted to the West Coast time. Come back to the East Coast, and it's screwing up. But someone was asking, what did you guys start with? And you were talking about your camera and that kind of thing. You know, we did what a bunch of you guys out there are doing. Just like you see in the picture up there, 2 guys and a camera and an idea and an internet connection. That's what we started with. And to tell you the truth, that's kind of what keeps us going. And that's what the show is all about, too. It's just, you know, it's still a pretty simple production. It's us and a camera, and we will use lights if absolutely necessary. But we've retained that process even as part of Commercial Kings.
Amethyst NK asks, Link, can you please grow a sick beard like Rhett?
Ooh.
Did you know that your beard was sick?
Now,
I've heard that there's something in it.
Are they asking you to grow it, or are they asking you if you can grow it?
I can definitely grow it. I mean, I have to shave twice a day sometimes, but yeah, I can grow a sick beard like Rhett. But I mean, then I don't want my beard to overshadow his. You know, I just don't want to do that to the guy. Well, I mean, he's right here.
Yellowfish Band says you should grow your beard out and participate in that other IFC show, Whisker Wars.
Now that's an idea.
There you go.
You know,
I'm all for that.
To maintain the IFC limelight as long as possible, we are going to force ourselves on
to the next show.
To the next show as well. It's just going to show up with beards. So yes, okay, we'll do that. I mean, we're in the office. We could probably get in a bay if they're editing it. We could just like tonight. I'm looking over here. We got some IFC peeps in here. Yeah,
I think that's all you can do at this point because I'm pretty sure the show has been shot.
Just splice it in.
All right, now
we
will
back. Splice ourselves into Whisker Wars, which debuts when August 5th. August 5th.
11
p.m.
I'm gonna be watching that stuff. Yeah,
there you go.
So it'll be our follow up.
Now see, we're back with Willie here. I actually have the same shirt on here that I have on there because
it's freaky.
I have like 5 shirts, so it's very likely that will end up happening at some point.
We did think about, when we were conceptualizing the show, RhettandLink Commercial Kings, there was a heated discussion about doing the whole season shirtless. You remember that? Because, I mean, wardrobe is just, it's just so burdensome.
Shirtless.
That's season 2. RhettandLink Commercial Kings, shirtless edition.
Lucky Pickle 46 says, what kind of mic is that? This is actually a Yeti mic from Blue Microphones. They're based out in LA, and they've given us a couple of these microphones to use. We actually use this exact microphone right here in this episode that you're watching when we recorded Roger and Deepika.
Roger and Deepika's breath went into this microphone. Yes. I smell sweet car wash breath. This could get inappropriate really quick.
Gusty123321 says, are the episodes available worldwide? I want to watch your show. You guys are awesome! ! Listen, folks. Again, I keep commenting and I'm trying to respond to a lot of you guys who are saying, why don't you guys put all the shows on YouTube? First of all, we don't have that's not our prerogative. We don't make those decisions, okay? So we put that show, IFC made the decision to put the show up on YouTube so everybody could see it. And this is the way TV distribution works. It isn't like it just goes on YouTube where everybody can see it. Don't ask me why, and listen.
Just don't drag out the answer.
As many people are getting the show as possible. If you guys keep demanding it, maybe it'll come to your country, right, Link?
8-Bit Monkey with a 3 for the E asks, did you ever get Roger and Deepika to make a new car wash package called the Van Buren? You'll just wait until you see the commercial now. Just keep a lookout and you'll find the answer to your question. There is a Van Buren package now at the Presidential Car Wash, at least in our commercial. At this point, we're telling Roger and Deepika that we've recorded their rap, but now they need to lip sync to their own rap as presidents. The George Washington costume that you're seeing right now, you can win the costume that Roger is wearing right now, people. Do you want to win $250 and that actual costume? Go to locos.ifc.com, nominate your favorite local commercial from your area, not one we made. We're just doing a contest where we want to recognize the best local commercials from across the country. Go there, open up another window so you won't forget. Locos.ifc.com, nominate your favorite commercial, and then vote for it. You can send people links to vote for your favorite. Get everybody in your area to vote for like your favorite used car lot or whatever the case may be. It's within your grasp. Every time you vote, you're in for a chance to win $250. One lucky person is going to win
the George Washington costume from the presidential car wash commercial.
Holla, 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 holla. Just think about it.
Yeah,
it was stupid for us to say we were giving it away.
I'm voting like 700 times a day to give myself the best chance at winning the costume.
You're going to try to win it, and it's it's sitting in our office right now.
If we win the costume, we win the costume. That's just how it works.
I think that's illegal. And it's also anticlimactic to win something that we already have. I'd rather give it away.
But I've never worn it. BDE
Look,
Brahmo.
it's the rainbow.
Okay.
We're watching the show above you here.
Here you go. See, lots of people thought that the rainbow was some special effect. You think that's a special effect? Look at that. That's a real rainbow. No one makes it rain like Roger, and when Roger makes it rain, he creates real rainbows. Look at that. It's like raining onto the surface of the camera, known as the lens.
No one makes it rain like Roger.
Would you buy a t-shirt that says, "No one makes it rain like Roger"? I would.
We should make one. Here's a teaser for next week's episode with Chuck Testa, the taxidermist. Woo! Chuck got us to do some interesting things with goat head.
Now listen, thank you. So first of all, thank you for those of you who've been watching this show and
thank you
talking about how good you think it is and how much it's making you laugh. And you're like, I haven't laughed this much on television in I don't know how long, and saying things like that.
It's like taking a blow dryer, putting it on the highest heat setting, and pointing it at our hearts.
A blow dryer.
It's so heartwarming in that way. You see what I'm getting at?
Okay, I do. But I don't think it would actually get all the way to the heart. I think it would just make your pecs hot.
If you blow dry your hair on that heated
so what Link
setting
is basically saying is,
it could damage your hair.
When you tell us how much you love our show, it makes our pecs warm. And I don't know how you should take that. But what I was actually saying was,
and it will dry out your hair, and it could potentially damage it.
We love when you tell other people about this show. You know what? This show isn't on like NBC. This show's on IFC, and we all know IFC's a small network, and we got to get the word out there about this show. People seem to love this show when they watch it. We got to get more people watching it, and it looks like more and more people are watching every week. Thanks for those of you who tuned in to the Spot episode, the one we'll be talking about next week, which was a lot of fun. Maybe one of our more controversial episodes. But, just like you saw that promo for next week's episode about taxidermy, does it get any better than working with dead animals, people?
I'm going to withhold an answer to that. I will say that it was fun. It was very, very fun to work with Chuck, the live man who mounts the dead animals. Well, he taxidermized. Tugboat 25, shout out to Tugboat. I know you, Tugboat. He asks, ever meet a client and end up telling each other, I don't really like this guy or this girl? Yeah, we were talking about this over breakfast.
What?
Have we ever met a client that we're making a commercial for, and we end up telling each other, I don't really like this person?
I thought you were saying, did I say that about Link?
No.
That would be a problem.
Just focus, okay? We've been blessed, people, as Troy would say. We've been blessed. That hasn't happened. We were talking about this morning over breakfast that when we found all these businesses, they all need help, and we're trying to help them with marketing and stuff like that. But we were always encouraged by, first of all, the excellence of all the businesses that we work with, the level of passion. Willie tips the scales. He blows the chart away. He what?
Boy.
He does something with a blow dryer. Willie takes a blow dryer.
You need to go to analogy school. It should be like analogies 101. I'll teach it.
Willie is. I'm not taking a course from you.
You can be the only student. Actually, anyone who wants to come can be there.
It's not going to happen, people. Go visit Mount Rushmore, and that's as educational as the advice we're going to give.
But
what I'm trying to say
everybody.
is that
They've been great.
Willie is the top of the peak. He's the pinnacle of the pinnacle when it comes to passion. But everybody throughout the season, I mean, even Roger and Deepika, like I've already talked about, everybody's committed to like making their business work, being cooperative so that we can help them. So yeah, we love everybody we work with, even though we reserve the right to not love everybody we work with.
Because people have said things like, who you guys have watched the episode either last week or you watched it on YouTube, you're like, it doesn't seem like Roger really liked his commercial. Like, what's up with that? Listen, Roger's just not a very expressive guy. I mean, the thing's got over 300,000 views on YouTube, and people are talking about coming from miles around to come to the presidential car wash. I think Roger likes new customers just as much as the next guy. So, I would say, hey, lay off. Quit getting mad about Roger. And Willie, here's Willie's commercial here. This is passion, just bottled up.
And put on the pinnacle of a pinnacle.
In this story, we put true story in there because there's only so much that we can actually fit into this 22 minutes that the actual half-hour show ends up being. And one of the things that
22 minutes 30 seconds
that we couldn't fit in there was the fact that story, we learned that story from Willie's mom. And can't you see that?
That story that's floating above us over here.
IFC.com, isn't that on IFC.com, the actual interaction with his mom?
Mother. It is not yet, but it might be soon.
I think it might be.
There's extra content. If you go to ifc.com/RhettandLink, you can see more content from the show, some of which will be distributed through our second YouTube channel if we have time to do that. But you can always see bonus features there, including the backstory to him popping the bunny rabbit.
That's a true story. He did that.
And I'll clarify, that one's not up yet, but just keep checking back, and I think that's going to be one of the extras that you can find. I love it when somebody is moved emotionally after they see the commercial. I definitely think Willie is crying there. And there was no baba, no Himalayan sea salt in his eyes.
This is the moment of truth with Roger and Deepika.
Deepika is one of my favorite people I've ever worked with. She just exudes confidence.
Well, she was embracing it. She was embracing the entire process.
See if you can spot the Van Buren special and the Uncle Sam. We had to do some math, some creative math to come up with that pricing. But Roger okayed all of the pricing. Of course. Presidential car wash. This is always going to be one of my favorite commercials ever that we've made. There's some Martin Van Buren. Now, if you're a committed Mythical Beast, a RhettandLink fan from way back, you know that I wore the same Martin Van Buren costume in a web video that we made in 2008. It was the same configuration. It's not the exact same costume, but it's the same configuration of a Martin Van Buren costume. One doesn't exist in the store, so you have to create it from scratch. Roger's making it rain. I love how when she says, no one makes it rain like Roger, and she hits the buffing thing with her hand and it shakes a little bit.
I love, one of the things that Roger asked was, when we went to show him the commercial, he was like, what does this "don't hate the car wash" mean? And we explained to him that "don't hate the player" was a rap term, and we thought we would just throw in, and "don't hate the car wash." I mean, while you're not hating players, you shouldn't hate the car wash also. And he was like, okay.
So Roger had a few editing notes. I kind of laughed because it just totally fit who he was, just being so meticulous and wanting everything to be exactly right. We wrote down his notes, and we went back and we incorporated them into the version that you actually saw. But they were small things like, don't just put the price, you need to put "and up," because if I want to change my price, I don't want to have to change the commercial. He said, in a couple of shots, there's like paint chipping off the wall, and I want you to obscure that. And there's clutter in this shot. Can you blur that out? Like, literally, those were Roger's notes, editing notes.
And we did it all. Every bit of it.
And yeah, we did that, and we went back and we showed it to him, and then we were able to post it on YouTube the next day, and it's all, hopefully, internet history. The credits are rolling.
There they go. They just rolled. Okay, we're going to wrap things up in just a little bit.
Yeah, we'll just take a few more questions. If you have a show-related question,
Big hand.
you can ask us right now in the chat room. I invite you to go to Twitter and use hashtag Commercial Kings. We are always checking that conversation. Continue to, if you're watching IFC, which you should be, continue to watch the amazing travel show Young, Broke, and Beautiful while also listening to us for the next couple minutes. But what I'm saying is use hashtag Commercial Kings to continue the conversation with us. We'll be talking about the show every day, all day, until next Friday when we can resume doing this.
And if you don't know if you have IFC, where IFC is on your dial, or how you could get it in your area, you go to ifc.com. There's a little box over there. Put your zip code in. Figure out if you have it. And if you don't get, you're not going to get IFC, and there's just no way it's going to happen. You can still watch every show this season if you go over to iTunes, Amazon, Xbox. We've heard people tell us it's on different on-demand services, some sort of Comcast on-demand and Xfinity. There's lots of ways to get our show. RhettandLink Commercial Kings. Go get it, folks, and then talk about it with us.
We'll take one more question here. I have. I'm not going to answer the question from the We Ride channel number 2. Why do men have nipples? I'm not going to answer that question, but I am going to answer the question.
Well, I'd like to answer.
I'd like to know the answer. I'll put it to you that way. Random IE girl asks
For milk.
What's the best part of making commercials? So we're going to answer that question here in a few minutes, but I just want...
Hold on. Your nipples don't produce milk? I need to call someone.
Yeah, you do. Hashtag we're no longer working together.
IB Rand says, are they even looking at the comments?
Of course we're looking at the comments.
I got you. I read your comment.
Okay, so what's the best part of making commercials? We're going to answer that question in just a few seconds, but I want to invite you guys to go to facebook.com/RhettandLink and facebook.com/CommercialKings. Like both of those. It's like I assumed a voice.
We're going to talk like this the rest of the time.
Like both of those pages and leave a comment if you have any
It will be a
feedback.
very awkward show if we talk like this the whole time. But we're supposed to have some characters to talk like
You can
this.
do it. It's late. Nobody's watching anymore anyway. It's just you and I here. And this is... I didn't think it could get more awkward than you talking about milk coming out of your nipples.
It's definitely going into a Muppet type situation. All right, so let's answer this last question and then let's shut her down. And I think the way that we do that is we'll just mute it and let it go for a few more minutes, because if we stop the broadcast, it cuts off immediately and they don't get the delay. I love it how that happens. People get frustrated.
Feed Me Burgers is a username. It's not a request by me. It says in all caps, and I don't answer this question just because it's in all caps. It just happens to be in all caps. How do you guys pick the commercial people? We are actually looking for people out there who have a legitimate marketing need and are almost always someone who has never made a local commercial for themselves, never had a local commercial made for them, and is usually a business that you haven't seen a local commercial for. Now, we make commercials for lots of businesses on the West Coast, and we made two for businesses on the East Coast this season. If you guys like this show and you get the word out about this show, and we end up landing a second season, RhettandLink Commercial King Season 2, maybe we'll go even more places and make more commercials for more people.
We'll come to your house and thank you personally.
That's up to you, folks. That's up to you.
Last answer to the last question. What's the best part of making commercials? Random IE girl asked us a few minutes ago.
And you, every one of you has nipples, and so I know you're listening to me.
It's a lot of fun, and it in a lot of ways it feels like the thing that we were made to do. So there's pleasure in that. But I would say the best part of making commercials, sincerely, is working with the people. I mean, meeting people like Roger and Deepika and Willie and everybody else that we've met this season. It's just great to know that you're helping people and that you're having fun with them and that you're finding things about them that they maybe saw in a certain light, but then you kind of add a little tinge of humor to it, and you take them to places where they're rapping in their own commercial, and you're surprising them a little bit. surprising ourselves, hopefully surprising you at home. But it just comes down to the people. You know, if it wasn't for helping people, working with people, having fun with people, this wouldn't, that's the best part of making commercials, I would say. And you would agree.
I totally agree. And on that note, we're going to go continue to help people.
Let's walk that way, like we're on a mission.
Thanks for watching. Tune in next week and every Friday night at 10 p.m. on IFC, and then join us for the live chat at 10:30. We're going to be doing it on an encore episode every single week. Tell your friends, your family about RhettandLink Commercial Kings. Use hashtags Commercial Kings when you Twitter about it or tweet if you just want to tweet about it.
Thanks, guys. See you next Friday. Be your mythical best.